Anna. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you, Lamyaa. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. It
Good.
is lovely to have you on Coffee Chats with Professionals. And I have read your introduction, and it is very, very impressive. You
Yes.
have been in this sector of healthcare for 30
Yeah.
years?
Yes.
30 years. So let's
Yeah.
talk about yourself.
Okay. Well, I have been in the industry of gut care for 30 years. But the
Mhm,
way I started was actually having constipation problems. And there was this modality that's ancient old that's
mhm,
called colon cleansing or colon hydrotherapy or colonic irrigation. So I went to a naturopath with circulation problems, then she referred me. And what I found from, they wouldn't be so much focused on nutrition. It was very much the emotional aspect of how you were feeling. And it was almost like unpacking your emotions, which at the time I was only, 27 and felt very uncomfortable because it was confronting. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just here to correct my symptoms.
mhm,
But what I found was, people loved taking control of their diets and their lifestyles.
mhm,
So from colon hydrotherapy, like wanting to learn the modality, because what I found was other things started to correct
mhm.
once the negative emotions and the fecal impactions started to move through. It was unblocking emotions. So where we harbored and suppressed them
Mhm.
in the gut, as they started to shift, there were all these emotions coming up.
Mhm.
Like, anger would come up, and I'm thinking, I'm not even an angry person.
Yeah.
But it was everything that was just suppressed in there.
Mhm.
So, where we found different foods suppress emotions, but what's the underlying? Which came first, the emotion or the food? So
Okay.
this is what was interesting.
Mm. Nice.
So then I wanted to implement more of the nutritional modality, because if you give people a means of controlling themselves, then they're able to let go of other things. So
Mhm.
I was more interested in seeing the emotional change. So when people came in, they weren't the same person the following week. And that's what interests me.
That is
So from nutrition, I went on to being a kinesiologist, which that was just another angle of talking to someone's soul.
Mhm. That's
Hmm.
interesting.
So
Mm.
where, this chart behind me, I
Mhm.
sort of developed in 2019 while
Okay.
we were in COVID mode.
Uh-huh.
It was just coming up. So the idea came in, it was like a download of
Mhm.
the idea. And then I thought, wow, this is just something new. So we know that we've got reflex points in the hands.
Mm.
Also, the gut has reflex points. So every reflex point links to an emotion. So we've got, say, the kidneys. The kidneys are ruled by fear. So
That is
you
very
could be making, it's fascinating, you could be making a groaning sound from being in pain, but it's kidney pain.
yeah.
But then the emotion of what brought on the kidney pain is usually fear. So
Okay.
being fearful, being scared of something, and then finding that you've got lower back pain, But from the spine, it wraps nerve endings to the front of our organ systems. And in those areas, you'll find that it's actually the sigmoid colon, the last section of your bowel, that's actually impacted, triggering fear. It's not real. It's not real. But when my patients come in and they look at the chart as they're lying down, they'll say, oh, I've got all of that. So they're able to identify emotionally than physically, which is awesome. So we're so complex individuals, yeah?
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
not just, when we look at the whole picture, you look at what state are
Yeah.
people in when they come in. And, when we're talking about mental health, I
Yeah.
don't know if I believe in depression, but I do believe in suppression.
Mm.
So when we are suppressed, it will actually suppress neurotransmitters. So suppress the production of serotonin and dopamine. Lamyaa, we've got 95% of neurotransmitters in our transverse
Uh-huh.
colon.
Wow.
So that cardiologists actually discovered that.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that people's mood was changing,
Mm-hmm.
that they felt uplifted, but we couldn't really tell why. And then there was a scientist that came in, and she was from a hospital, and she said, look, I want to do some research with you on the neurotransmitter activation. And that's when I was just blown away, saying, yes, 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 we've really got to do this. I also wrote a book,
Uh,
all on the research of these cardiologists. And what they found was, having a bowel obstruction,
mhm.
they would do an autopsy, a dissection. And that's when they found the 95% of neurotransmitters in the transverse midsection.
Mhm.
So that's why people wake up and they're happy. And I think that's why, because we've triggered the
Mhm.
serotonin and the dopamine production. And it's simple, isn't it? It's like if we look at our lifestyle, the first thing we should be doing is just drinking enough water to go down into the bowel. And that's it. That's if you can do that, then you'll get a lot more complete elimination of toxins, liver function, and you're coping,
Uh-huh.
on a higher level.
All right. But what about suppressed emotions that you're talking about?
Yeah.
How do people get that out? How did you get your emotions out?
It was when the bowel started to shift. It was when the bowel started to shift. So I was having the treatments of colon hydrotherapy, and it was when the bowel started to move. But what
Right.
we find, why isn't the bowel motions complete? And it's only because of dehydration. We get so busy in the day,
Yeah.
we forget to drink, the liver's not activating.
Uh-huh.
Once we increase the water, the liver activates, the bowel motion releases bile,
Mhm.
and the bowel motions are a lot more complete. And we find that, okay, we're not storing fear, we're not
Yeah.
storing anger or
Yeah.
grief or
Okay.
anxiety, which is mostly an environment that's highly inflamed. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're holding a lot of fluid retention, that person would be going through anxiety.
Yeah. It is a lot of great information over here. Is it your health that inspired you to get into colon hydrotherapy?
Yes, absolutely. So with me, it was chronic constipation and
Uh,
my circulation problems. Yeah. So then I realized that we don't have, as individuals, enough information of
mhm.
how to take control of our own bodies and self on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, it comes on
Yeah.
simply from what we do to it
Mm-hmm.
every single day. So if it comes on that way, simply by
Yeah.
what we do, then we can correct it. We can just reverse it and give it what it needs. So if it's
Yeah.
just water intake to
Mm-hmm.
focus on first, that you're
Mm-hmm.
getting enough to hydrate and to activate the liver, which that's 3 liters of water a day actually. So if we can do that and just master it, we'll be so much happier.
Your first advice would be drink more water.
Just drink water because that shifts negative emotions. I don't know about you, but when a child hurts itself and starts to cry,
Yeah.
the mother gives it water straight away. I think it's this innate knowing,
Yeah.
drink water, shift your emotion. Isn't it? And we've never paid attention to that. But I think our mothers knew best. Know why they were doing it. It's just they always knew. Drink water, it'll shift
Yeah.
your emotion.
Just some
Yeah.
things are very natural to us, I think. We don't even know why we are doing it. If you're angry, sit down, drink water. If you're mad, if you're feeling down. So let's talk a bit about your book. So it's
Yep.
very interesting.
Reset the gut.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's 353 pages, but
Amazing.
there's a lot of knowledge in there. So once
Mhm.
people start to read it, it goes into the emotional aspects
Alright.
and how different emotions will trigger, but it's all suppression and
Right.
holding on to these emotions. So I'll give you an example. As soon as it shifts, the
Mhm.
person can't remember what they were fearful of. They
Oh,
can't remember what they're angry about, what they were anxious about. And
okay.
all they're doing is they're creating a physical change within their bodies, within their cells.
Mhm.
There's a lot more lubrication
Yeah.
because it's the cells aren't clunking together and
Mhm.
coagulating. And when we do that, which is seen under a microscope, then you won't experience change. But as
Right.
soon as you add water to it, it starts to become a lot more osmotic and
Mhm.
there's change. Then everything starts to move, there's movement within the body. But if we don't water our system, we're like trees, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
We could be fruitful or not when we're thinking spiritually. But it's
Yeah.
the same thing. If we don't water it and nourish it, we'll
Yeah.
just become stagnant,
Mhm.
brittle, and die. Yeah? So just one little simple thing can
Mhm.
make a lot of change.
That's
Yeah.
true. So how long did it
Yeah.
take for you to write this book?
4 years.
That's a long time. Did you do a lot of
4
research
years. A lot of research, but it was more to do with the experience of clinical experience.
on
So, it's like if we separate ourselves into 4 different types of individuals, you'll see the same patterns happening all the time.
Right.
And so then you're able to learn as well from each one of those characteristics of how do they let go?
Yeah.
Is it easy for them? That mindset, how is it going to let go if it's fixed,
Mm-hmm.
if it's been suppressed, if it's been through trauma?
Oh,
You know, how do we do this? So it's like the body can shift,
yeah.
no problem, and then the mind follows.
Yeah.
So the gut's the second brain. So you just go, something's going to shift. Either the first brain, the conscious mind,
Mm-hmm.
or the second brain being the unconscious mind. The only thing is trust and know that it can always remember how to let go. Because we were made perfect, weren't we? When we were born, we were all perfect. It's
Exactly.
only life got in the way,
Mhm.
and yeah, we changed.
It's amazing. Actually, that was my next question, that gut is our second brain and emotions are stored in there, like fear.
Fear, we're talking about
Yeah,
guilt,
yeah.
suppression.
Hmm.
Yeah. Don't they remind you of being like little demons sitting in a, in a cesspool of toxins? It's almost demonic, right?
It
So
is.
you go, as
Yeah.
soon as you introduce water and light
Hmm.
into it, they leave. Then you've got space to create why the serotonin and the neurotransmitters activating to release. Then you're a new person. You're not harboring the negative emotion, which
Yeah.
is an entity that's not you. It's not you. You've just harbored an environment to
Hmm.
lock it in.
Hmm.
You know, like thousands of years ago,
Yeah.
when they did their cleansing, and it
Hmm.
was a ritual. It was like every single day they went on a meditative walk for 2 hours.
Yeah.
They cleansed every day with seed
Hmm.
pods. Now the reason being is to keep the abominations away
Right.
by having a clean vessel. And
Hmm.
why? Because back then you can imagine catching parasites and bacterias. But
Hmm.
even that mindset of ridding parasites were entities.
Yeah.
So to have a clean body, it's
Hmm.
like there's more connection to source between you and God without anything interfering and making you think otherwise.
That we don't actually see emotions as something big in our life, but what it does to our body and mind, we are unaware of it. So we just
That's
let it
right.
pass.
You could be triggering cancer cells,
Oh,
and over 20 years, then it starts to manifest. It doesn't manifest straight away.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
How does it get manifested? How does it get activated?
Once we hold on to it, it's like we swallow it, we bury it, we don't express because we might offend.
Right.
If we express it, we might offend someone. So it's always, the people that always think about other people. You know,
Wow. Wow.
people always think people who are selfish, they never get sick. I hope I'm not offending anyone, but it's true.
So you would say that people pleasers are more likely to have more diseases and more health
Absolutely.
issues?
Yes. That's
Right.
why we shouldn't, you know, I, um, I don't know if you're going to edit this, but
Yeah.
what I love doing and I volunteer, I teach scripture. Okay. I teach God to
That
schools, to children, teaching Old Testament at the moment. And I've done 5 weeks on teaching about Moses, for example. And so then, it's like saying the words that we should never please anyone but God.
yeah,
So God
exactly.
should come first. So
100%.
really, do we need to please anyone but
Mm-hmm.
God? So God will look after us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People don't really, it's like they're our family. Sorry, that's my dog coughing. It's like, yeah. So I don't know, but does that make sense? It's like if we're constantly eager to please everyone,
Yeah.
then we get left behind. But
Uh-huh.
it's like if we're more focused on our higher
Mm-hmm.
awareness,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll always be looked after. And we're here to serve. but not to put them first. Yeah, we're here to serve humanity, but yeah, always have love for
Yeah,
God.
exactly. There's a fine line between serving God and serving people, and living for God and living for people. As you can see,
Yes.
I'm Muslim. Of course, I also
Good.
talk about God a lot. I talk about Allah
Yeah.
a lot. And you were
Uh,
talking about Moses. Moses, for
yeah.
us, is Musa alayhi salam, because he's also our prophet. So
Yes.
yeah, we also read about him. And Jesus, he's
Yes.
Isa alayhi salam for us. So we call him,
Yes.
he's also one of our
Good.
prophets. This is
Good.
just
Good. Good.
all
Good.
interlinked. I think we are all
Yes.
interlinked, but
That's right.
society and culture just divides us.
Right. So when we're teaching about the old prophets, it's always about love and their relationship with God, and then came people.
Exactly.
In what they needed to do for fulfillment. But it's always, the ones that are eager to please and have so much burden and take on so much responsibility that they make themselves sick. It's like God didn't ask for that. It's like it's like go for a walk, spend some time with God, develop your relationship with Him, and then He'll do the rest, or let Him lead you.
That is beautifully said.
You can decide what you want to do. But
Yeah.
yeah, I thought if we can somehow teach people that they're actually harboring these demons of negative emotion, that's not part of us. Is just letting doing prayer meditation in the mornings, having the water to shift, it's like simple things. And really, if we just survive, if we have 2 meals a day, that's allowing less stress on the body and the mind.
All right. Are you saying if we have less food?
Less frequency of food. So say if we have 2 big meals, lots more water, you'll probably find that it's enough. If we're constantly eating, what are we doing? Is we might actually be filling a void. Like, why do we keep eating? How do we feel emotionally when we reach for food all the time? Are we anxious? Are we stressed? Is time a factor? So then
Is
we make wrong choices
right.
sometimes.
Is that the reason why people who are depressed or they're feeling lonely, feel disconnected, tend to eat more?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do, because the emotion comes up and then they go, oh, I don't want to feel that. It's like this thing that we do. We don't know why we keep doing it, but it is the same emotion that keeps coming up. And
Oh
it's
my.
often loneliness. It's
Oh.
often maybe when we're on our own as well that we do it, but not when we're in company.
Right. That is true.
Notice,
When people tend to be very, very happy, they might like good quality food, but they don't want to
yeah.
have more frequent.
When you do Ramadan, how awesome is that? It's like you're allowing, see how, it's a sacred time and it's sanctification time. So it's like you're not allowing that filling up, because that's for God. When you're
Yeah,
in prayer, you're not eating at the same time. And then all of a sudden you go, I'm actually not hungry.
exactly.
Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfectly said.
Yeah.
We know it, we don't
That's right.
actually dive deep into it. So I feel like even though we know certain things, we don't apply
Mm.
it to our lives.
And we don't think about it.
Don't exactly. My personal experience, what I told you at the very beginning, I used to have very bad stomach issue. My doctor told me that I have IBS and I would not be able to eat spicy food,
Yeah.
bakery. I would just be able to eat very bland food, and no milk. I don't know, for
Yeah.
some reason, I just don't believe them. After I went to UK, I felt like it was a miracle because I was at the mosque during
Yeah.
Ramadan. I do not remember the last time I had milk before that. If I drank milk, I would be sick for days. I would feel I'm gonna spew, I would feel dizzy, I would feel extremely, extremely unwell. And then I started experimenting with
Yeah.
all the food, and I was completely fine. Even now, I drink coffee every day, tea every day. I eat, alhamdulillah, whatever. Like this podcast, it's coffee chats with professionals. So, what I realized is it was more about my mind than my body. It was more about
So
that
you
I
were,
was stressed.
that's right. That's right. And you probably felt stressed about that. And the
Exactly.
body started to tighten up. There's no way it's going to
Yeah,
break it down. So
exactly.
it's almost like creating fear before it actually hits you. Mm.
I did not want to be this person who's unwell. I was really praying for it, that I really want to heal mind and
That's,
body.
yeah, but also don't forget that you didn't have any other influences during the time of fasting. So when you were praying, it
Mhm.
was a healing time.
Yeah,
So I'm not surprised that you were healed.
that.
What you were asking for,
Yeah.
you were a lot more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have a stressful environment. And
Right.
then if you're having the tea and coffee, it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to. Do you add a little bit of milk to that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, there you go. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm. But I think it's good. I think the environment was less stressed, and that's when you can determine. Yeah, and you were in prayer. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you're a lot happier when you had it.
Yeah, that's true. I think it was the change in environment. I was in a different environment, which made me feel very different. And then the second thing was, I was very eager to change. I don't want to have this health issues. I also
Yeah,
see in the people around me, they develop health issues. When I look back, I do see that they had a lot of negative emotions building up. They never resolved. And
that's right.
yeah. Do you have
Yes.
anything to say about that? Could that be the cause of it?
Well, it's like if they were, say, in a state of Ramadan,
Hmm.
like if they were going to take a break, focus on prayer,
Yeah.
meditation,
Hmm.
and if they were just going to focus on that, had a lot more water in their day, then their negative emotion would shift, right? They're changing their state.
Right.
If you start in the day with prayer, why are they still
Hmm.
stuck in an emotion? Are
Okay.
they making the prayer about them? Are they not focusing when they're praying? Yeah? Because then you just go, if you're praying, why are you still stuck in that negative emotion of the past when we should be moving forward? Yeah?
Yeah.
So something has to shift. Either they do more Ramadan,
Hmm.
and that works. It's like if you just had fasting
Hmm.
even till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're creating cellular change. Did you know that? It's like your cells start to change. So when you were in prayer
Hmm.
during Ramadan, your cells were already changing. So if
Hmm.
we allow God to intervene in
Hmm.
that change, how much more powerful will that be?
That will be the ultimate target.
People already know this.
Hmm.
They're already in routine of prayer. But say you just go, you know what, could you just do Ramadan a little bit more? Like not just in that once a year, you know, but just a little bit more inviting that into our lives. So they might decide to do 5 days or 10 days,
Hmm.
of not eating during the day just drinking water and then having their main meal at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, whenever. Yeah. So round about 3 o'clock to 4, the insulin drops. So if their meal was that time, it's only if they're stuck on an old emotion. We're not saying do everyone do this. It's only if they cannot shift old memories of those locked emotions. It needs
Wow.
to shift into the body. It needs to go, this person today is not the person that they were, 5 years ago or 2 years ago.
To unlock negative emotions, we should do more fasting.
Include water in your fast, but don't remember food is an emotional suppression. So it's like if they're emotional, don't eat. Just drink, but always keep focused that my days is dedicated to God, that you're in prayer, and you're not doing it for nothing. You know it well. Yeah. It's just that they need to dive in more with having relationship with God.
Okay. You would say that the subconscious mind has a lot to do with our gut health?
Remember we were saying that
Yeah.
if the body shifts, then the mind catches up. Yeah. Usually someone who is in a negative mindset with all these negative emotions tends to be too locked in the brain. It's almost that disconnection between the body and the mind. You'll find that they can't breathe. Like,
Wow.
notice when people are anxious, there's this rapid breathing. Their mind is going a million miles an hour. Their body is cut off. They can't connect. But as soon as you tell them to stare at something, try not to blink and breathe through the mouth down into the belly, they relax just like that.
Okay.
And then they connect to their bodies and they feel that they've been holding on like this with their second brain. So as soon as they start to breathe, they feel relaxed and they're not anxious anymore. But if it's almost like staring at something that's above eye level, but don't move the head.
Oh.
And try not to blink as you're breathing.
Mhm.
Within 30 seconds, they're fine. They're like breathing normal.
Yeah.
And then they're able to connect with their body.
Wow.
So it's like a little tip like that can help you get into that positive mindset of
Yeah.
going, I need to practice that on a daily basis.
Yeah, definitely. I think we
Yeah,
all need to.
into the unconscious mind straight away. Straight away. So you're allowing that to take control, and then the mind calms down. Yeah? Yeah, it's not like monkey mind all the time.
Mhm. We don't know a lot of these exercises. We can have routines that you make a habit of doing every single day to help
Yeah,
your mind stay in a more focused state, to stay in
yeah.
a more calm state. And
When you're in the mosque,
hmm
and the bending down,
hmm
same thing. You're actually tapping into your unconscious mind.
Oh, can you elaborate on that?
You're changing position and
Yeah.
you're focusing on bringing it's like being in a submissive position, but
Mm-hmm.
your focus is being taken away. It's not about you. It's not
Right.
about your ego.
Right.
Yeah. It's like the unconscious mind is taking, and it's a meditative pose. Yeah.
Right.
See, when you're doing it subconsciously, it's the unconscious mind coming in to
Right.
connect with God. Similar thing,
Yeah.
Christian monks have a similar way of doing that, and it's very meditative and submissive. Yeah, it's a monk that's
Oh,
devoted to prayer and lifestyle of
like
Correct. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they have tapped into their mind so much, they are able to
Yeah.
achieve and do extremely unusual things. We are running after our lives so much, after money,
Mm.
after success. We feel if we don't get this, we are not going to be worthy. We are not going to respect ourselves. We are forgetting why we are here. We are forgetting our natural state of being, having power of the mind, subconscious mind, connection with God. We are
That's
so disconnected. So it's so wonderful that you being a professional are
mm.
also trying to get people to connect to God.
If we don't connect
Mhm.
if we don't connect back to God, then we don't know God.
Yeah.
So that would be the ultimate betrayal as humans, as children of
Mhm.
God. Yeah. So it's interesting,
Yeah.
the more we know, the more we cannot sit
Exactly.
still.
Mhm.
We've
Mhm.
got to go into action of
Yes.
going, okay, how do we
Mhm.
teach people to have a relationship with God? Yeah. Yeah. But what you were saying about chasing our life on a
Mhm.
day to day, it's
Yeah.
almost like we're making
Mhm.
idols. Money has become our idol, or work, or people pleasing is
Right.
another thing. We're
Mhm.
putting others above God. Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's more, it's like, the more we trust,
Mhm.
the more that God actually leads the way. And then we go, oh, that was so easy. Because we didn't do it. God did it for us, so it's good. It's good.
We are unknowingly building our own idols. We are not worshiping God, we are worshiping an idol created by us. And the idol is money, success,
Yeah.
power, reaching to a certain status in a humanly environment,
Yeah.
only in a humanly environment, not in a spiritual environment. So it is a
That's right.
very, very strong way to put that. Even I think
Mm.
people who are religious might not go very deep into this thinking. As
Yeah.
Muslims or as Christians, even in the prayer, you have to go very deep into the thought.
Yes. That's right.
What am I actually doing? So
That's
would you say that all of this resets your
yeah.
mind? It just makes you physically more healthy?
More aligned. Yeah. More
Yeah,
happier.
more happier.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
More happier. And then you just go, like every time we think negative or we feel stuck
Mm-hmm.
within our body,
Mm-hmm.
is always go, oh, what demon am I holding on to today? And then it snaps you out of it.
If we start asking ourselves this question, what demon am I holding on today? I don't think we'll be holding on any. We don't like the idea of holding on to demons, do we? No.
And you're thinking about the past.
Yeah.
It's like that's only causing you pain.
Mhm. That
Yeah?
is that is so true.
Yeah.
Everything you said, Anna, it is enlightening. Although we know about these things, we need to go deeper into it. Like the more I study mental health, the more I work with this, I realize there's so many layers to it. But there's always this aspect of simplifying those layers. If we can simplify it, it becomes easier for us. Mental
That's
health,
right.
physical health. I
Yeah.
also read a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
He also talks about mind power, how it can heal you physically. Whatever he says
Mm.
aligns so much with religious or spiritual perspective that I feel
Yeah.
like people in different parts of the world or in different professions, they are talking about the same thing, but in different perspectives. It all makes sense. The truth is there among everyone. We just have to see it. We just
That's
have to
right.
accept it.
Yeah.
So
As
I
soon as we understand it,
Mhm.
then we can start to correct.
Exactly. There can be a lot of misconceptions as well regarding
Mm.
the gut or the colon therapy. So, in your career,
Yeah.
have you
Mm.
come across all these misconceptions and how do you deal with that?
Look, as soon as we hear something that's just not um, making sense.
Mm-hmm.
So say someone will say, "Oh, but you're taking rid of a lot of good bacteria."
Right.
It's like you're looking at a toxic waste.
Mm.
So the good bacteria that they're talking about is bifidus that's on the wall of the bowel. If
Oh.
you've got fecal plaque on the wall of the colon,
Mm-hmm.
not the small intestine,
Mm-hmm.
so there's the ileocecal valve that
Mm-hmm.
stays shut. Then we do not enter into the small intestine
Mm-hmm.
because on the right hand side, just where the cecum is, it's shut off.
Right.
So we're not getting rid of the domination of good bacteria that's in the small intestine.
Wow.
So when people take probiotics for constipation, it's not going to work
Okay.
unless
Mm-hmm.
unless you've got small intestine problems.
Mm.
So the bowel needs to be cleaned to actually cause contraction, good muscle contraction again, because it's been frozen over and fecal plaque around there. And that's how you develop diverticulitis
Mm-hmm.
and inflammation, dehydration. But as soon as you hydrate the bowel
Mm-hmm.
directly to the colon, then it starts to soften up all the fecal impaction. Then it starts to learn how to contract.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got everything else moving down.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's gastroenterologists in the UK doing colonics. There's one in Sydney that's a very well known gastroenterologist, and
Mm-hmm.
they do colonics
Right.
because they understand it now. But if it's still old school and not going into new learnings of, there's new things coming out all the time. But when it comes to the colon, if they're still stuck with prescribing laxatives, then I would change my GP. you know, it would be like, you're not going to get anywhere. So you don't want to keep taking something that's actually depleting your
Mm-hmm.
body of water by taking it out of the small to purge the bowel. That's how you're going to
Mm-hmm.
disrupt the electrolytes, become iron deficient,
Wow.
and,
Okay.
inflame the gut very quickly.
Mm.
Yeah? So hydrate, if you're in a desert, not that this would happen, but if someone was in the desert and massive dehydration, they would give them an enema to quickly hydrate them.
Okay.
So it's quite interesting.
You also have a clinic.
3 clinics in
Yeah.
Sydney.
Wow.
I also teach the modality.
Mm-hmm.
So we bring a lot of the kinesiology, the emotional aspects in with the training
Oh.
for colonics. And of course we talk nutrition as well. But once they see it in action,
Yeah.
then they can understand how the
Mm-hmm.
person starts to heal and repair very quickly that you wouldn't get in another modality.
That is very,
Yeah.
very interesting. So, when did you establish these clinics?
I actually, the first clinic I had,
Yeah.
I bought
Yeah.
off a previous owner, and that
Uh-huh.
was in 1995.
Wow.
So 5 years later, we opened up one in Bondi,
Mm-hmm.
and 5 years after that was Surrey Hills, and
Mm-hmm.
5 years after that was Cogra.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been good over 30 years. Yeah.
I also read that you have a lot of different kinds of treatment. So, would you like to talk a bit about that?
Okay, so we thought what goes well
Mm-hmm.
with colon hydrotherapy, and that is, lymphatic drainage, goes well, because once you stimulate the lymph, you need an exit. So it's great to have a colonic. Also, infrared saunas are good. They work from the inside out. So it's good. Some people have said it makes them feel like they've had a workout when they do infrared. So it's like little things like that, but it's always about how do we get rid of the toxins out of our bodies.
Okay. So lymphatic drainage, how does that
Mm.
help the body?
Well, we're just moving the toxins into the lymph ducts. And so if people have got a lot of fluid retention, they'll discover that. Sorry, that was my dog. um, yeah. So, we just push them in to the lymph ducts, and then the body urinates it out if they're
Wow.
not going to do things with the bowels. So as long as they're eliminating lots of water after that, to shift the lymph glands. But there's 5 different means of elimination.
Yeah.
So the skin being the largest, of course, liver is
Yeah.
the second largest. Of course, we've got the bowel, the lymphatic system, kidneys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
but at the same time, you're noticing more clarity in the mind.
Right.
And that's important.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. Do you know, if you were going to
Yeah.
stretch out
Uh-huh.
the colon
Yeah.
to the brain, it's one long tube. So that's why the brain looks like the gut. So it's a mirror. It's a mirror of what you have, and all the neurotransmitters, the chemicals that release from the brain also release from the gut. But we're just one long tube. Yeah. And in the embryonic stage, it's the gut that develops first, not the brain. 6 weeks later, the brain is developed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk a lot about gut feeling when the brain doesn't give us good answers because the
Yeah.
brain is stimulated a lot, but the gut is not. That's why when
No.
you have a gut feeling, it can seem very opposite of what we are thinking in our mind, and we doubt
Yeah.
it. Like we ask ourselves, why would we have this feeling where it's not even logical? So
That's
you
right. And
do
what do? We don't trust it,
exactly.
do we? Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you say about the gut feeling? How strong is that?
It's very strong. It's very strong. But don't ever doubt when you
Mm-hmm.
start to feel something different
Mm-hmm.
or start to think about something different. If it just doesn't feel right, you know, the more in tuned you are with the body and the mind, the more it will be very quick. And as soon as you have that thought that's very quick, don't think about it. The more you think about it, the less you trust.
Right.
Always go for it. The first thing, whatever pops into your head, and you go, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't sound right. Go with it.
That's a
Mm.
very, very good advice.
You did that when you went and saw your gastroenterologist and said you can't have this food, you can't have that. You automatically went, oh, I really don't believe that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just go with my gut. For example, starting this podcast itself was more
Yeah.
like just gonna do it. I did not think twice about it,
I'm
although
so
I'm not a social media person. I have said it in my
right.
last podcast as well. Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I don't come in front of camera. And what I feel is that if we have a higher purpose, if you have a bigger target, and for me, it was mental health, educating people more about the subconscious
Yeah.
mind, conscious mind, and
Yeah.
how emotions affect us. So I feel if I know something and I'm able to deliver it, that is my responsibility. So that is the only reason I started it, but it was highly unlikely for me. So I would also say I went with my gut. The more you stay disconnected with yourself, the more your gut feeling will move away from you. You will stop hearing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
do start
for
we do
sure.
stop hearing that voice because that voice is very light and very tiny, and it
Yeah.
comes and it disappears. If you don't listen to it instantly, it kind of gets offended that I'm not heard, like
It's
that.
offended. Very good.
Offended, like, okay, you are not giving me attention, I'm not gonna stay. So you have to
Yeah.
pay very deep attention to it and be very respectful to your gut feeling, believing in
Yes.
yourself, like you said previously. So
Yeah.
speaking of that, what habits would you suggest people to adapt on a regular basis for healthy gut and brain connection?
I would say it would be um, focusing on your water intake.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't and listen to when you feel hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Always have some water before you eat and see if it's an emotion that you're fulfilling or your
Right.
body actually does want food. So
Okay.
it's, yeah, so always start the day with water and
Mm-hmm.
just see how you go. And you might find that once you do have your 3 liters on a daily basis, don't get scared if you're not eating as much
Mm-hmm.
because it's almost like some people might feel more energized, yeah, when they're eating less.
Exactly.
And don't question it because, on the weekends we'll be with family and eating more than what we do during the week anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to do it on a daily basis that you're eating too much because you're just going to slow the immune system down, which
Okay.
is the small intestine.
Right.
And it doesn't make you feel or think straight.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
So it's like, when we eat, we need a lot of energy
mhm.
to actually burn it off, and the body feels tired if it's eating too much.
Right.
So just have something that's more living food,
Mhm.
and then see how you feel.
That's
Of course, premenstrually we tend
mhm,
to eat more because of the
right.
estrogen
Mhm,
influence, and that's fine. But
mhm,
it's like, what's that? It's really is women were only balanced 2 weeks out of a month.
mhm.
It's like, really give the body a break for 2 weeks
Yeah, exactly. That's
out
something
of the
we
month.
could do. Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
We can do.
So it's like you're not going to stress anyone out by saying,
Mhm,
eat less, drink more.
mhm,
But they know that. People know that because it's in their nature not to eat as much. But it's again what's happening in their life before they eat. Just
mhm.
check into your emotion and see how you're feeling before you have that food. Sweets, like I mean sugar,
Yeah.
um, fast foods. Yeah,
So, would you recommend any food for people for their good gut health and brain health?
I would say more prebiotic foods, more greens like fish, more
Mm-hmm.
greens,
Yeah.
vegetable. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect.
Not so many fillers. So
Yeah.
things like, if you chew for a long time and you can taste the sugar, that's going to cause inflammation
Mm.
and sort of leave you feeling more hungry. It's interesting
I think
with those sugary foods.
that's why they're
Yeah, like
manufactured.
bread, rice, pasta. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm a pasta person. Oh no.
Yeah.
I love pasta.
Yeah, so it's an emotional food. But it's like you might go, that's interesting.
Hmm.
When do I feel like pasta? What time
Yeah.
do I feel like pasta?
So
Yeah.
honestly, now I will actually think about it. When is the
Yeah.
time I feel like having pasta?
You might change it around. Instead of nighttime, having it during lunch.
What emotion am I feeling? Why am I feeling that? Or that would be very
That's
interesting.
right. And what just happened?
Yeah.
Maybe like an hour ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
You
happened.
might have had a deadline at work. And then
That's true.
you
That's true.
felt,
It's very interesting how we actually fill a void with food. We were doing our masters and we were going through a lot of stress. We were at a different country, away from
yeah,
family. So it's just
yeah,
interesting how me and my friends would tell each other, okay, study, okay, I'm gonna treat you with food. I'm gonna
yes,
bring you muffins. That is very
yeah,
interesting how we
yeah,
relate emotions with food.
yeah. As long as you're aware of what, when it's happening and
Hmm.
what it's doing,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because then you're aware of it. You can't do it every day. You won't do it. It's because the body doesn't let you do it. The mind doesn't let you do it. You just
Mhm.
go, okay, that served its purpose. Tomorrow's a new day. Yeah, the thing.
Yeah, a lot of people cannot recognize their emotions. How would somebody know that their emotion is affecting their digestive health? Or is it their emotion or is it something else? How would they distinguish between the two factors?
Okay. Do you know that there's a high percentage of people knowing that stress has caused their gut problems?
Mhm.
As
Okay.
soon as you take them back to correcting the diet,
Mm-hmm.
then they're aware of, because their emotions have led them to
Mm-hmm.
be drawn to particular foods. So
Right.
they'll always say, I'm like this because of stress. And then you go, that's interesting. But
Mhm.
let's just see, what do you have to eat breakfast, lunch, and
Yeah.
dinner? And
Mm-hmm.
then you'll find that because of this stress that they've been
Mm-hmm.
having those foods to block them on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time we see them, they can't change their habits.
Yeah.
So then they come to us,
Mm-hmm.
and then within 1 week they've changed. They're not the same person. So
Yeah.
they've implemented, remember we said little changes, and it
Mm-hmm.
can't just be the water intake.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
To shift their state, then they get drawn to good foods. So just start off by just water.
Yeah.
Just start off with that and eating less,
Wow.
and you'll be so much happier.
Okay, that is very interesting. Have you ever witnessed a very powerful transformation in your career that shaped your belief, changed your perspective?
Well, I thought colonics was the most powerful transformation for me because, like we said before, holding on to anger, which
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know,
Right.
I even did that.
Uh-huh.
But I remember after having a colonic, and it was Father's Day, and we were at this restaurant, and there was someone sitting in our seat at the booking, and I lost it. And then I just went, well, where did that come from? Like, I'm not an
Yeah.
angry person. And I just saw, oh, wow, I just had my colonic. It must have released the emotion of anger,
Okay.
and it was suppressed, and then it started to come out,
Right.
which I do warn the clients, if they are holding on to something, they'll probably feel there's no memory attached to it, but
Mm-hmm.
they'll actually feel that emotion,
Right.
but it won't hang around longer than 48 hours. So
Right.
they might be remembering,
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, the last time I felt this emotion was, and maybe that's what they suppress. But they
Right.
don't have to have a memory. Some
Right.
people might remember, some people might go, oh, it was just the emotion.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
would that be just for 48 hours?
yeah, a maximum.
Max.
So for me, it was the outburst, and then I went, oh, where did that come from? Because it was so unexpected.
Uh-huh.
It was a situation that
Mm-hmm.
had happened, and then the emotion came out. And I thought, oh, wow, I just had my colonic like an hour before. And so we were just meeting for
Mm-hmm.
Father's Day after that at a luncheon.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went, oh, wow, I must have released some kind of blockage that suppressed anger. So that was a great experience.
That is. Well, in your career, have you met somebody, maybe another professional that has really inspired you in your journey?
Um, I can't think of anyone. Do you know why? Because we're pioneers of what we do, and I'm just thinking, have I come across be- yeah, because we're reinventing.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, we're reinventing. But I suppose, yeah, with
Yeah.
hypnotherapists, with kinesiologists,
Mhm.
yeah, that's always interests me.
Yeah, okay. So
Interesting.
you have a lot more connections with hypnotherapy or different kinds of therapy rather than the conventional treatment systems?
A holistic approach to the individual, not just targeting one organ system.
Exactly. And also, even the last time I was talking about this in my podcast, we were talking about medication. The last podcast, it was with a doctor. And I was
Yeah,
saying that I don't actually believe in taking medication, or I don't suggest people to take medication for every small inconvenience. I did my
and
undergrad in pharmacy. And
yeah,
after
good.
that, I started to tell people more that do not take medication. And they're surprised because I am a pharmacist and I
Well,
know
you know better.
yeah what medication does to you. So
That's right.
if you have a fever, a minor fever, or just a runny nose, anything like that, people take medication all the time, and it's priming your body to
Mm,
rely on medication rather than your own immune
yeah,
system. And your
that's
immune
right.
system is extremely powerful. It
Yeah,
has your personal
that's right.
pharmacy of drugs, so you don't
That's right.
actually need medication from for every small inconvenience, maybe for bigger issues. So I feel like the conventional medicine or the system degrades the
That's
human body. It actually
that's
makes it weaker.
yeah, because every medication will cause some kind of stress response within the body. Even though it's correcting one little bit, then you'll
Exactly.
probably find more inflammation. So
Exactly.
that's we see that visually
Mm-hmm.
coming through the medical device,
Mm-hmm.
so we can actually see what it's caused, get rid of the inflammation, so then it resets the immunity.
Exactly.
So, do you know what I find fascinating
Mm-hmm.
is, do you know, once the person becomes ill,
Mm-hmm.
say they've got the flu,
Mm-hmm.
um, how does, and then they've got something coming up
Mm-hmm.
within 3 days,
Right.
their mind goes into
It,
wellness, and all of a sudden they're not sick, and you just think, how did they do that? Mind over matter, right? So it
yes.
overrides it. I
Exactly.
find that's fascinating, which I've done it myself. But then it's really interesting what the mind can do.
It is very interesting. That's why
Yeah,
every time I feel unwell, I persistently get out of my house. Look, if I stay in bed, if I stay in an environment which is gonna make me
that's right.
feel more sick, I'm gonna be more
Yeah,
sick. So
that's
I need to walk around, I need to have a happy environment. That is how it would heal me even faster.
that's right. That's right. And how do you change your mind very quickly to feel better?
Hmm.
Start to laugh a lot. If you laugh a lot, your body starts to rejuvenate
Hmm.
and regenerate more positive cells. Like, it's like the good bacteria starts to grow the microbiome. All of a sudden, you're feeling better. Yeah, we can just do that.
Yeah, it's very important to have good company. If you can have a bit of a laugh, if you can sit around, just talk about your day and have positive energy,
Yeah.
and that would heal you. And if you have a negative environment, get out of
Mm.
it. It will affect your mind and your body. So is there anything that you would want to add?
No, I think it's good. I think it's good that we've covered,
Mhm.
how to empower people,
Yeah.
that what they're feeling they could actually be creating
Uh-huh.
themselves,
Mhm.
is to check in when they're overfilling
Mhm.
their bodies,
Yeah.
is why are they doing that? Why can't they stop? Which emotion is it that's driving them to keep doing the same thing over and over again? It's a sign of madness, you
Right.
know. But just to stop, change their routine, go more into fasting and prayer, lots of water, and having the meal when they're most hungry.
That's amazing. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Anna. Thank
right.
you so much for
You're
this
welcome.
amazing session, for this
Thank you.
amazing chat. I enjoyed
Thank
it,
you.
honestly, and it was very insightful. I learned a lot, and I would definitely want to learn more. I would definitely want to read your book, and I'm gonna look it up.
And I'll send you one.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much, Anna.
That's a gift.
It
You're
was
welcome.
really lovely to talk to you.
Lovely. Praise God. Always.
And thank you so much for your lovely
You're
words.
welcome.
It's been really
Yes,
amazing,
thank you.
and we will
Thank
definitely,
you.
hopefully, collaborate more in the future.
Sounds good. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye-bye. Bye.